Before the warriors of the crystals, sworn protectors of the harmony and stability of the worlds, appeared a new and formidable enemy, the Ashen King. Seizing the power of the core crystals for his own, he descended upon a certain land in order to achieve his fearsome aspirations. One world amongst countless other ever-changing destinies, crossing and intertwining. On that world was an ill-fated continent destined for ruin, Ardra. The warriors of the crystals, too, made their way there in order to reclaim the power of the core crystals that had been stolen by the Ashen King. But they were served a crushing defeat by the overwhelming power he commands. However, with their lofty duty on the line, the warriors of the crystals have risen to the challenge once more. On their journey through the ravaged lands of Ardra, they met the prince of a kingdom on the precipice of ruin, Dario Horn, and the shinobi who serves as his lieutenant, Shadowlynx. The warriors of the crystals felt a kinship to Dario and his determination in continuing his fight against the Ashen King's forces for the sake of his forlorn people. In the name of bringing down the Ashen King and performing their most crucial duty, recovering the power of the core crystals, they broke their rule of not intervening in historic affairs and chose to band with Dario and his remaining forces. Meanwhile, Lucio finds himself flung through space and time to the Kingdom of Farm after being sucked into a portal during the battle with the Ashen King's forces. There, he meets the reincarnation of his once fated enemy, Astrius, in the form of a young scholar of history. With the memories of his past life rediscovered, Astrius follows Lucio, and together they return to Ardra. Overshadowed by a disharmony born from their past encounter, the two journey onward in hopes of reuniting with Lucio's fellow warriors. Along the way, they meet the vagabond, Volke, and with the information he shares, they learn that the army of Horn had fought back from the brink of ruin. And thanks to their counteroffensive, a number of castles and strongholds were freed from the Ashen King's besiegement. Lucio, Astrius, and Volke make for a stronghold while protecting refugees whose homes and livelihoods had been razed to ashes. They reach the end of their perilous journey, and Lucio is finally reunited with the other warriors. But unbeknownst to them, the Ashen Lunacestus had taken to the field with orders from her master, the Ashen King. What are the Ashen King's true intentions? How was he able to take control over the core crystals? And what truths lie behind the masks of the Ashen King and his loyal followers? While these and so many more mysteries are yet unanswered, another storm of crisis and chaos brews in this other Ardra. A few days after Lucio, with Astrius at his side, reunited with Velis.
Even Renan is too stunned to speak. What are we going to do now, Lucio?
How should I know? I mean, I'm sorry. But Lord Velis, you yourself had a similar reaction when I first told you about all this. And so did Joom and Raph. Everyone, really.
I mean, considering the colorful past you and Astrius have, what else were we supposed to do? I've heard you recounted 3 times already, but it still hasn't sunken in.
Enough. This is a situation that requires decorum. Now then, Lucio. I'm sure you have been asked this multiple times before I arrived, but indulge me. This Astrius that stands before us, he definitely possesses the memories of the Astrius that we once fought, correct? The facts speak for themselves, yet it still manages to defy comprehension.
I'm not sure what best explains it. That he has those memories, or that he's just been reincarnated. But either way, yes, that is correct.
I myself don't really understand if such a thing as reincarnation truly exists. But there is no denying that I have memories of fighting against the warriors of the crystals. If you need me to recite the final moments of my past life for the 3rd time, I can oblige.
No, it will not be necessary. I just wanted to confirm. I understand now, or rather, I am doing my best to. So how did the others respond to this Astrius matter?
Oddly by the books, I guess. Starting with Joom and Perrine.
Very well. If you will fight alongside us, I have no qualms. Assuming your strength is that of an asset and not a burden.
Oh my. What a curious turn of events. Astonishing, really. But I believe it must be fate. I look forward to fighting with you, Asti.
Or something along those lines. Chipper as always.
Lady Satya and Lord Rulgia said.
Oh, okay. I mean, if it's as he says, there's not much we can do about it. I guess a lot happened between all of us. But let's not let that keep us from getting along. We're counting on you, Astrius.
I believe this is our first meeting. My name is Rulgia. Wait. More importantly, how shall I put this? I would never do anything as brazen as to voice an opinion that could possibly undermine that of either of you, Master Lucio and Master Velis. But personally, I would be delighted to have Master Astrius join us. Yes, indeed.
Dare I ask about Raph?
Do you really want to know?
So, you're saying you were reincarnated in another world? And you can remember your previous life? The power of the crystals, humanity, and something else I don't understand combined. A forbidden hybrid. That's like an incredible, flawless backstory that just screams, I'm strong as heck! You're like the real deal. I'm Raph. I hope you'd like to be friends with me.
In a way, she was the most in favor of him joining us.
She was rather peculiar, I must say.
So, back to the big question. Where do you stand on this, Renan?
Well, naturally, I welcome him. Having listened to all there is to say, I believe that the man before us is not the Astrius we once faced. As such, that would render any further references to our past encounter illogical.
True. I mean, for starters, he's a certified human and not some vision. I'd be lying if I said this hasn't done a number on my head, but... All right. I won't let it cast a shadow over things. Let me start again by thanking you for helping Lucio get back to us. I'd be pleased to have you continue to fight alongside us.
You're welcome. And yes, I will fight. for the sake of rescuing the Kingdom of Farm from the bigger implications of this crisis as well.
And so you can return to living out your days in peace as a scholar as well.
That said, I cannot shake the feeling that our encounter is not a mere coincidence.
Not a coincidence. What do you mean?
That despite being cut off from the will of light, perhaps its influence still reaches us. Even if you getting pulled into the portal opened by the Ashen King into Astrius' world was not by design, the will of light likely intervened while you traversed the dimensional tunnel, even if ever so slightly, and led you to the Kingdom of Farm.
Also that Lucio and Astrius would happen across each other? I see.
Though I would like to believe that the Will of Light did not plan to involve Astrius into our struggle, it is possible it did so upon foreseeing our plight, as pitiful as that may be.
I'm sorry, Astrius. No, my lack of strength has turned your life upside down.
You've done nothing to apologize for. The true cause of all of our strife is the Ashen King, right? If none of this is a coincidence, and that it is but the workings of destiny, then I have no choice but to accept it. Anyway, instead of dwelling on all that, shouldn't we think about what to do next?
Couldn't agree more. Renan, what's the status of Lord Dario's troops?
No issues to report. Order has been restored to the areas surrounding the retaken strongholds, so they should be returning any moment now. As such, I was able to leave ahead of them to address the matter of Astrius.
You're really coming into your role as the Prince's stand-in strategist, aren't you, Renan?
I refused him once on the grounds that I was not the one for the job, but alas, it would seem he recalled various instances of counsel I provided in the previous battle. Ultimately, his reasoning was compelling, and I could not deny him. There is something about Lord Dario that draws people to him. Virtuous, I would say.
Apologies for the wait. Who might we have here?
Nice to make your acquaintance. Please, call me Lucio.
Astrius.
Lord Lucio and Lord Astrius, I am Dario. Well met, both of you. Now, time is of the essence. We have surveyed the movements of the Ashen King's army.
Hold on a sec. Shouldn't we wait for the others? Your shinobi Shadow Lynx doesn't appear to be here either.
I have left the security of the stronghold in her care.
And I have told others without crucial duties to assist her as she requires. At any rate, we are undermanned. We cannot afford to wait for everyone to be able to gather here.
Seems like things are becoming quite critical.
I'll make up for my absence now that I'm back. I swear it!
My thanks. Then let us begin with this. We were able to determine the deployment of the Ashen King's forces, the fruits of Shadowlings and the others putting their lives on the line for this reconnaissance.
This is utterly uncoordinated. Why would they be spread out like this?
My. At this rate, I'll be out of a job.
That was impertinent of me, wasn't it? My apologies.
No, I welcome your opinion. What do you think could be the intent behind this formation?
One possibility is that they are protecting something. Something they don't want us to take. Be it a thing, or perhaps a place.
But the place the Ashen King's army is stationed does not bear strategic importance.
Oh, could this be where the core crystals are?
No, I sense that the core crystals themselves are still where they should be, in our cloister. The Ashen King was somehow able to pull the power from the core crystals as they sat in their rightful places.
thought I was on to something.
Do not be discouraged. There is nothing wrong with your way of thinking. Let us employ further scrutiny. What is something, or somewhere, that matters not to Lord Dario's forces, but does to those of the Ashen King? If we can ascertain that, we will be ever closer to discovering the Ashen King's motives as well.
The core crystals. And crystals.
Ah, cooking up any ideas over there?
Not really. It just occurred to me that the crystallization phenomenon we've seen all over the land might be related somehow.
Interesting. That might be worthy of deeper consideration.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. We have a situation on our hands.
Lady Perrine, what is it?
Lynx, what happened? How did you get those wounds?
Lord Dario, there is something you must know.
Dario will never know the importance of the place upon which he stands. Your worship, allow me to borrow but a bit of your immense power. I command you in his worship's stead, assail the stronghold before you, and kill all for whom his worship has no use.
I bet you're happy to see Lucio again. Right, Joom?
I knew he would be fine.
Why do you always have to say stuff like that? Wouldn't it be nice to act a little happier when you feel happy?
This is me being happy.
Oh, really? In that case, moving on to our next unhappy camper. Raph, what's got you down?
She has been like this for some time now. Perhaps something happened with Mistress Perrine?
Perrine? What do you mean? She blew me off. That's not very good. Lucio made it back in one piece, and my boy Astrius agreed to fight with us. Your... what? Never mind. So, what happened next? It's like things are finally looking up for the first time in forever, so I thought this was my chance. I asked her, all nonchalant-like, did you have anything you wanted to talk about with me?
That seems like quite the direct approach to things.
Then she was all like, oh, I have something to do, but it was super forced. And then she just trotted off somewhere. Isn't that cruel? Like actual cruelty. I'm gonna cry. Oh, don't go crying on us. Still, that is a bit worrisome.
She must be thinking that now is not yet the time to talk with you, I think.
Then when is the time? What hour, minute, second of the day? After the dawn of how many new worlds? Wow, this is really bothering you, huh? You can't even keep up your usual cool act right now.
If only there were something we could do.
Ugh! What's this ringing sound?
Enemy raid, approaching from the south and east in staggering numbers. Everyone, to your stations.
I guess we'll have to pick this up later. Are you okay, Raph? Hey, I'm not that immature. I'm just super frustrated. So, if I go a little overboard and start blowing everything apart, someone stop me, alright?
I'll defend the southern front. Join me, Satya.
Roger that!
Then I will take the east. Where is our messenger?
Someone is gonna stop me, right?
Right, yes. Yes.
All clear over here. What about you guys?
We have just finished off the last of them. Well, it was mostly Mistress Raff.
What is it, Rulgia? Are you injured?
No, nothing like that.
Rulgia, nice assist.
I am happy to help.
So much for being all glum. You're on fire today. Yeah, I guess I am. There's something about my magic. It feels sharp again.
Likewise. My body feels light compared to when we got here.
Even though we are still severed from the magic of the core crystals, yes. I assume that we have adjusted to our current environment and are now absorbing magic from the atmosphere and Earth with greater efficiency.
Maybe, yeah. By the way, anyone seen Shadowlings?
Lady Shadowlings, we seem to have managed to drive back the enemy forces. We shall now attend to the wounded.
Very well. See to it.
My lady.
Something is off. That assault was too conspicuous. At first glance, it was quite the aggressive assault, yet it didn't feel like they were trying to follow through. Could it be that it was some manner of diversion? But if so, what is their true goal? Could it be Lord Dario?
They've done well to make it this far, but their time has run out. The moment they begin to bathe in their premature victory, that will be our chance. Nothing has changed. This so-called impenetrable stronghold still has its singular blind spot. Time to finish this.
Finish what, exactly? That garb. You must be one of the Ashen King's underlings. That attack on the stronghold earlier was an obvious diversion, meaning your true aim was to infiltrate through what you think to be a blind spot. I figured that I need only lie in wait, and sure enough, here you are. You intend to sneak into the stronghold and claim Lord Dario's life. But you will do so only over my dead body.
Lynx.
So you know my name. But I'm fairly certain we have never met.
I was aware that Dario kept a shinobi in his midst. Which makes you Shadow Lynx, does it not?
Even if I say yes, what would you do with that information? Take your leave? Unfortunately, it is I who hasn't the slightest intention of letting this end peacefully. Surround her!
Horn Shinobi. So some of you still draw breath.
You think us craven? This is simply the Shinobi's way of battle. Accept your end.
You cannot see that you are outmatched. How foolish. The Shinobi of Horn have fallen just as much as the kingdom they serve.
You monster!
Within my fists dwells the power of the core crystals, bestowed upon me by his worship. You never stood a chance to begin with. If you have reached that realization yourself, then stand down. Do as you're told, and your life may still be yours for a little while yet.
Do not speak down to me!
You desperately twisted your way out of a direct blow to your vitals. I would be impressed if I didn't pity you for prolonging your own suffering. A clean death would have put you out of your misery. How can this be? Not once, but twice. Even so, it ends here. Die!
It's not over yet! Such overwhelming strength. I don't stand a chance. But despite that, I can read her attacks. I can see the projection of her strikes. It's clear to my eyes. But how? I recognize those techniques. Those movements, and that stance, there's no doubt about it. Is it really you?
Your tongue is too loose. I shall stop it along with your heart. The warrior of the water crystal?
Lady Perrine, what are you doing here?
It was quite cold of me to leave Raffi and the others like that. But I'm glad I did, because it looks like I made it just in time. I was just thinking about you, you see. Little Miss Retainer to the Ashen King.
Your presence here changes nothing. I will send you both to the afterlife.
I think you're mistaken. I won't accept defeat, especially not now. I'll take you down, and do whatever it takes to get the answers I seek.
What drivel! Can't keep up with my strikes.
Perrine's over here! I can sense her! Perrine! You're close by, right? Say something!
Raffi? Oh, phooey! Stop right there!
I will be back for you. I swear it.
Lady Perrine!
Lynxie, hold it together!
Please, take me to Lord Dario.
Don't speak! There's a bone sticking into your lung!
I'll be fine. Just hurry.
Oh, Velis was with Dari, if I remember correctly. All right, just don't move, okay?
The enemy has infiltrated the stronghold. They mean to take Your Highness's life.
Enough, Lynx. I understand. You needn't speak further.
You must relocate us at once.
Lynx!
Uh-oh. She's fainted.
Quickly, Velis! Heal her!
I'm working on it.
Lord Velis, how is she?
Her life isn't in any danger. Perrine is seeing to her care now. Her wounds are completely healed, but she must have pushed both mind and body to hell and back. What comes next depends on her, but I doubt she'll wake for some time yet.
I see. Regardless, I'm thankful her life is still hers to keep.
Lord Dario, I understand how you must be feeling, but we haven't a moment to lose. We must decide how to proceed.
Indeed. Please, have the others join us here. I believe I might have an idea.
Leave the stronghold? After all the work we did to get it back?
We will fare just fine, but what will become of the refugees? Of course, I have no intention of abandoning the stronghold completely. I shall leave enough troops behind to safeguard it. I intend to let the people use the stronghold as they see fit.
So we're just moving our main base.
If you know that you're being targeted, staying within the stronghold would be safest. Why take the risk of leaving?
If there is a chance that the enemy seeks to claim my life, then there is no guarantee innocents will not be harmed in their attempt to claim their prize. Avoiding such a turn of events is my main reason for wanting to leave.
But departing the stronghold with the majority of our forces would surely serve only to entice the Ashen King's army into an all-out offensive, would it not?
It goes without saying that we must remain extremely vigilant if we see any indication that they intend such a thing. Then we will immediately turn back and attack them from behind, which would in the least allow us to deal a fair blow to them.
Were it up to me, I would bring a hammer down upon their main army while their numbers are thin rather than turn back, but I know you would not choose such a plan.
You understand me well, Lord Renan. I almost wish that I could truly catch lightning in a bottle and have you serve as my strategist officially, rather than just for the time being.
That might have shocking consequences.
My apologies. I thought we could use a quick jest. That aside, I have another reason for wanting to act from outside the stronghold.
Another reason, huh? Well, we would certainly love to hear it.
I would like to see where the Ashen King's army is stationed with my own eyes.
Hold on there. Not to pull a Renan on everyone, but I'm not sure I approve.
If it is for reconnaissance, would it not suffice for another to undertake the task? Shadowlynx would have been the one to ask if she were in good health. She is in no state to do so now. As such, I believe the safest possible plan is to send out our best, present company included, to ascertain the full scope of the Ashen King's army and what they hope to achieve.
I suppose knowing their true aim would allow us to prepare our next move the most efficiently.
So, we've definitely decided on leaving here, right? I'm a little bummed.
Why would that be?
I can't really come up with an answer when you put the question to me. I guess it just feels oddly comfortable here somehow.
Is that so? My apologies. I've only just rejoined you all, so I haven't had much time to settle in.
You know that's nothing you should be apologizing for, right? Jeez, you're so proper.
So, when do we depart?
Once our preparations are taken care of. I would say as early as on the morrow. Though I will consider any reasons for a later departure.
I wanted to take a look at the soil of this area, that's all. Scholarly habits die hard, I'm afraid. I am well aware that now is not the time.
No, it is no problem at all. Why not dedicate the night to your investigations?
Are you sure?
Of course. I believe that looking into the source of the crystallization is of great import as well. Let us assign a few men to aid you. I would like you to continue your investigations at our future destinations as well.
That would be a great help. Then, sorry for the rush, but I'd like to go as soon as we can.
Oh, in that case, might I lend a hand? I would like to help you, if that's okay.
Do as you wish.
I shall help as well.
Huh? You, Lady June?
What? Do you object? Or are you trying to say I am only good for swinging a sword?
No, I never said that.
If you want to come, then come. Just be quick about it. We haven't much time as it is.
My apologies. Let's get going.
Did June just finesse her way out of a boring strategy meeting?
Mistress Raff, did the same notion not cross your mind as well?
You, of all people, doing the whole I know what you're up to routine is the last thing I was expecting today.
I choose to be obtrusive because I understand there is perhaps something that weighs on you at this time. Mistress Raff, before we depart, I believe it best to speak with Mistress Perrine once more. I can let you know about any matters regarding our strategy if you would prefer not to attend the meeting, after all.
That's nice of you to offer. Thanks. I appreciate the sentiment. But for some reason, I feel like I need a little more time before I talk to her again.
So, Dario has left the stronghold with the warriors of the crystals in tow. If we give chase now, we could catch them before they are lost to the winds.
Do not pursue them. Return at once.
Shimmerlance, were you not instructed to remain with his worship?
Actually, I come bearing orders from his worship. But you know that, don't you? Displeased? Well, while we're at it, I have word from Lady Strategist as well. Do not forget why we began all of this in the first place.
In short, it would serve us well if we could remove them without expending his worship's power unnecessarily. If Dario is dealt with, then control of the troops will collapse. And I shall say something bold. You needn't insist on his death. I understand that your loyalty to his worship is incomparable to my own. And thus I implore you, please understand. Why must the things you say twist and turn around your intent? Do you think it a kindness? I will obey his worship's orders.
Please do. It's either that or I take you back by force. And I have no idea how I'd go about doing that.
You have returned. I failed to remove Dario from the board. This failure is mine, and mine alone. I will accept whatever punishment your worship deems fit. There shall be no punishment. If anything, it is I who owes you an apology. I do not understand. I should have known that there was a possibility of you two crossing paths if I sent you. The fault lies with me, and my inability to foresee such an inevitability. I did not intend for you to have to do battle with Shadowlings. Forgive me. I should have handled Dario myself before it reached this point. It is my responsibility, after all. Although, I suppose I was not capable before. Your worship? His worship truly has not changed at all since then. He still believes that he must be the one to dirty his hands before ordering others to do so. If it must be that way, then I shall do everything in my power to protect him. In any case, our aim has been realized, the results of which are all that matter. Come, strategist. Yes, your worship. The preparations are complete across each of the lands, yes. Indeed, all went smoothly. The bait has been laid. They will do not more than wallow in their trivial ruminations as they go from one place to the next. It is a shame that we cannot revel in the absurdity of it all. Duly noted. But spend no more time on these obfuscations. Of course. Please excuse the passion I have for my craft. What is the state of Rundle and Wazette? Nothing worth fretting over. Both the King of the Stags and the Silver-Maned Princess are all but broken. I pray your worship will be able to get a measure of rest while making for our true destination. Rest, you say? No need for such concern. That said, it will take some time yet before the Will of Light's central cloister is breached, and that limitless magic becomes my own. For now, this test of endurance against the will is entertaining in its own right. See that we are ready, but do not feel haste is imperative. As you command, your worship. You are to remain with me, Luna Cestus. Understood? Yes, your worship. Shimmerlance, for the sake of contingency, keep eyes on Rundle and Wazette.
Very well. But is such preparedness really necessary?
I suppose not. then consider it a break, and spend your time however it so pleases you, so that you may have no lingering regrets, provided, of course, that when I give my summons, you will come to me, no matter what.
I have cast away such regrets.
In the least, consider it as my apology for your sister. Do we understand each other?
Yes. Your worship.
That is all. Return to your duties.
We have received word from a messenger that a battalion of the Ashen King's army has been discovered just ahead. Precise information of which is not yet known, however.
Our information lacks precision without shadow links, I see. I know there is not for it, but alas. That aside, deploying a force to a place like this is quite odd. I cannot imagine that it is for strategic reasons.
But even so, I suppose we can't just overlook it and continue on, can we?
If the location offers no strategic merit, militarily speaking, it would be best to assume there is another reason for their presence. It was also my understanding that you will allow me to inspect the area. Is that still the case?
Just so. But to do that, we will need to do away with that battalion, even if only for a time.
I want the forces of Horn to remain in optimal condition. It would be best if we dealt with this ourselves.
In that case, I will take the front. Is that okay?
It's all yours. It's refreshing to see a youngster take initiative like that. Yes, sirree.
Velis, is it just me, or is your old man shtick becoming less and less of a joke?
Huh? You're not serious, are you?
Even I've been making a decent effort to keep myself in line these days, you know?
What have I become?
And what's worse is that you didn't notice it until I pointed it out. What I mean is, even if it's just an act or you're just messing around, you're turning into a geezer for real.
All right, I'm right with you, Lucio. Let's wrap this up so the investigation can begin.
Sure.
That kind of thing is exactly what I mean. Ugh, poor Grandpa Velis.
I'll go too. We need as much time as possible, so another blade in the fray should help speed things up.
What? You're going too? Then so am I. I gotta take this opportunity to study the real deal. You know, get a good look at how you roll. Who and what is she talking about?
One cannot help but wonder what line she is keeping herself in.
That seems to be the last of them. Now I can get to work.
So the real deal doesn't really do chit-chat. Got it. Got it. It's so weird to see her be all serious like that.
Well, what did you find?
For starters, I now know that the crystallization phenomenon is progressing here as well. This might be stating the obvious, but the fact that it's progressed considerably in this area alone is curious. But there's something else that I've noticed. The amount of magic being emitted from these crystals is staggering.
What do you think that could mean?
One possibility is that these crystals function as a supply point for the Vision soldiers.
Interesting. That does seem plausible.
Meaning, a steady supply of magic is needed for the Vision Soldiers to maintain their form in this world. Much like how human soldiers require food and drink.
Hang on a sec. Something doesn't add up here. Think about it. Look at just how many visions the Ashen King has summoned with the power of the core crystals.
With such power, surely he would have no trouble fueling the visions with an endless supply of magic as well.
If so, does that not give credit to my earlier theory?
Are you referring to your reasoning as to why the Will of Light's influence has not yet been completely lost to us?
Indeed. The Ashen King may possess most of the core crystal's magic, but he is not yet their master.
That makes sense. It's not like we can just tap into all the magic the core crystals have to offer. Like, sometimes I run out of juice after I put on a show with my powers and... I mean, I totally would if I were to do something like that.
So, the Ashen King is gathering magic from the land here and the other affected areas as well.
I don't believe that's all there is to it, but it seems to be one aspect of what's happening, yes.
The Vision Soldiers were here, after all.
This infertile, parched land has become one of death for man and animal alike. But for those that are sustained purely on magic, these conditions must be favorable.
After you put it like that, I feel pretty dirty saying this, but if they use this as a supply base for their magic, what's stopping us from doing the same? What do you think, Perrine?
Right! You have a point. That's a very good idea.
Maybe you should replenish your magic as well, Astrius.
Do I need to? I thought I was faring well enough.
Damn, hybrids are built different.
If replenishing your magic would serve us well, then perhaps we should dedicate a little time to excavating some crystals.
While we're there, we might as well gather up some used-up empty crystals, too. Unlike us, you need something to safely release your excess magic into, don't you, Lord Dario? And no need to sweat the details. I'd be happy to help with it.
Lord Veles, that is very considerate. Thank you.
The crystallization phenomenon, their magic supply, and the gathering of magic as well. I feel like we should be able to make something of all this information.
This is the only area we've properly assessed, so I would avoid drawing any conclusions just yet. I'm sure if we survey more areas, we can come to a more accurate deduction.
Very well. Then let us proceed once everyone's magic has been replenished.